All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are the admin side of For You Recording. My name is Tyler Battles. I'm the chief engineer for You Recording. We have Devin Lester, who is the studio manager for our Atlanta facility. And we have Crystal Carpenter, who is the studio manager for our Memphis facility.
Tyler, if you want to, you can just break down your job description.
Okay. My job entitles it's a client services based business. So client satisfaction is at the top of my core duties, as well as studio maintenance and upkeeping the studio, training and developing the staff, um, doing recording sessions, mix sessions, and basically helping the client go from the creation process to bringing their vision and their dream to light, and helping to usher that all the way through until we reach the point of distribution. So from the conception, as you may have seen the journey map that Felix broke down earlier, we take the song from the spark of the idea all the way through to the mixing and mastering process, and then deliver that over to Beetroots, which goes into the distribution phase. So that's pretty much, my core duties. Devin, could you tell us a little bit about yours?
Yes. For me and Crystal, I'll speak for both of us. So we wear many hats. We're not just studio managers. We are the first point of contact. If the engineer is not booking a session, then we book the session, and it's our job to create the experience and set the tone for a client when they step foot in our building. A lot of times, a client comes to us with zero knowledge of the music industry. And a part of our duty is to educate them and also make sure they're familiar with other parts of the business. For instance, Beetroot is music distribution. A lot of people think just because they put a video up on YouTube playing a song that their music is out and it's not reaching all DSPs. So we educate them on that. We also introduce them to their first experience inside the studio with the session. So the engineer helps them get comfortable, set the vibe, but we create the experience and create a bond to make the client feel comfortable and book with us again. And also just making sure on the business side that we're getting all the information from them to keep in touch and to do follow-ups to make sure that throughout their musical journey that they are being handled with care.
Beautifully spoken. So what steps should a student take to find employment as a studio manager? What do you feel like were the steps that got you to where you are?
I feel like anybody that's interested in the role has to step out and find an establishment or organization where they can shadow someone, intern, or, go find a mentor that can help mentally prepare you and physically train you to be in that position. So before I got the role, I was able to shadow and also practice in the industry. So if you have zero knowledge, I came in, Crystal could show me the ropes and kind of share her journey and experience to make sure I'm able to do the job to the best of my ability. So it starts with mentorship, internship, and then for some people, college. For others, it's just, training.
Okay. What advice would you give a student looking for employment in the music industry, just as a whole?
My piece of advice for a student that is looking to get into the music industry is you never stop being a student. Even when you have a role, you're always growing, you're always learning. So if you can put your ego and your pride to the side, it can be somebody younger than you that's going to teach you a lesson. It can be somebody older than you that's going to teach you a lesson, but you have to be willing to receive that lesson and message. And don't be afraid to be wrong.
Yeah, I definitely would echo that. I love that. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Don't be afraid to fail. Everyone doesn't always know everything. The biggest thing that I always say is never be afraid of failure, but fail forward. So if you fail at something, don't let it discourage you. Learn from it and make you better so that you don't repeat the same mistakes. You know, never be try new things. That's kind of what it takes in this industry. It's definitely a creative industry. It's not a normal 9 to 5 by any means. So we're all just trying things every day, and we have the freedom and flexibility to do that, which I've always liked about this industry as opposed to working retail or working any other job. It's not a normal 9 to 5. Devin, describe in detail from education to internships, the whole process of working one's way into a career like yours. My bad, tongue twister.
Can you repeat that? Because I'm just stuck on trying to get it out.
Only you. Describe in detail from education to internships. What is the whole process into working one's way up into, in your case, a studio manager position?
It's not really a time limit or a time frame on working your way up. Some move quicker than others. So don't compare yourself to like someone that's next to you. Get all the knowledge you can before you are left with the task to do it alone. So don't be anxious to move up without even practicing and having the skills to do the task for that position. So take your time while you're still an intern. Before, if something goes wrong and you got that position, it all falls on you.
Definitely does. Let me backtrack because I think I didn't answer the first question. Steps should students take to find employment in a career like yours? This kind of coincides with the last question and this question I'm answering all in one. And just what Devin said, take the time to intern, take the time to find mentors. That's pretty much this industry. It's relationship-based industry. So it's about who you know and what knowledge you're able to obtain along the way. Try to meet as many people as much as possible. Go out, network, go to different events, and connect with people on another level. This is a connection and relationship-based business. I can't say that enough. I can't echo that enough. My journey map, I went to school. I went to school for engineering, audio production. Graduated from Middle Tennessee State University with a bachelor's in Bachelor of Science. So that was my journey path. Later, after graduating school, I later became an intern here for Memphis Entertainment. I interned for a fairly short amount of time before I was hired on as a staff member. And that never changed my perspective. The one thing that I always kept in my mind from the day that I stepped foot into For You Recording, from the very first day as an intern, was how can I come in and make myself an asset? What can I do today to be an asset to this company? And that still to this day is something that I walk into the building with, whether that's fixing a piece of gear, whether that's I walk into my sessions with that mentality. What can I do for this client to be an asset to them, to make them want me to be a part of their team, to make them say, hey, I'm not doing any other recording without this guy, or I'm not doing any mixing without this guy. What can I do to make sure that I'm of service and I'm exceeding the bar and, really doing something that leaving an experience and an impact on someone. So that goes across the board. I think that one central thought is what pushed me and propelled me into reaching this stage now, where, I'm still continuing to grow every day. I still have a strong team around me that is growing every day, and I, love to see that and play a part into that. But that's my one central message that I operate off of. What can I do to be an asset?
I would like to add something to that. My relationships with people got me this job. So if I didn't do events or didn't have like clients already, or, before someone is a celeb, they're people. So I knew people before they got to the next level of their career. And then also just doing events, Crystal is a studio manager, but she also wears other hats. And in one of those other roles Crystal plays, she's a DJ. So, working in the city, she saw me at events and she was able to vouch that I'm a hard worker, or like I can bring something to the team. So, and even today in this role, I am a manager, but I still seek advice and knowledge from other people. And also, for instance, I run the Atlanta studio, but I also network with other recording studios in the city. So I have a new group where the other managers, we're sharing advice, or something simple like the manager for another studio here shared with Crystal some important information that's trending for us security wise. So like, don't be afraid of competition, because competition can be your best friend. So if that studio is fully booked and we have open spaces, they send us love and sessions and we do the same. And, one thing we can say, our studio offers we offer a different experience than their studio. So we built that connection and bond with clients, and they know what to expect from us. We set the tone, and, we create an experience.
What would you say is one of the challenges of being a studio manager? What are some things that you experienced that you found to be challenging as being a studio manager?
One of the challenges of being a studio manager is taking the blame for when something doesn't fall through from the team. Then we have to take that lick. We have to, like, if a client comes here and have a bad experience, I'm not just letting them go and letting them book somewhere else. Coming back and, rewarding them like, hey, I apologize that happened. I'll make sure that I can pair you with someone that knows your sound, because booking a session, I can't put, if it's a gospel artist, I can't put an engineer that only does trap music, because the sound, the product at the end, when they bounce down the files, it's going to be different from a gospel track. So, you have to learn things that, like, when me first starting as a studio manager doing that, that's something I learned. I have to know my team as well as I have to know the client. It could be a walk-in. Someone can knock on the front door and ask for a tour of the building, then decide they want a session. So I have to take the time to get information from them and, hey, can I hear some of your tracks so I can hear a sound? And then I go through my roster of my staff and say, hey, this person would be best fit for them. So that's a challenge. A lot of people are not able to accept when they are wrong or when they fail. So to, put your pride to the side and say, okay, I didn't match that up. Or, hey, let me make sure I create this experience for the client. I'm sorry you had an unsuccessful session. Let me make it right. Here's a free session. Or, hey, you pay for 2 hours. Here's 1 free hour.
Okay. Um, what do you say? What do you think was something that you found easier than you thought it would be as a studio manager?
Booking. All it
You
takes
thought that was
is,
gonna be hard?
yeah, because I'm new to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And, it's patience, it takes time, but it's communication, it's building relationships. So I can't be in the building in an empty building. So if the building is empty, guess what I need to do? Go out to other studios, go out, see what's going on, what events are going on. How can I let someone know that we are present and we are here and you can book with us? So that's really easy. It's just a lot of bookings. Like we have an event today. It's someone I've been talking to for months and it just finally came through.
So what is it like to nurture relationships? What do you find is key to nurturing relationships and fostering relationships?
Being
Whether it
personal.
be with artists or
Being personal. So if a client comes in, whether I establish like a nickname or just knowing details, I'm very personal. So when certain artists come in, I know, okay, this person likes room temperature water, this person doesn't. Or, hey, I know they book at this studio and the room is really trash, or they don't even have the, like just some, it's one client that loves that we have sanitizer in the room. I know that seems like something so small, but to know that like this client is coming and I can set up 2 bottles of water and sanitizer in the room, that makes a difference to them. It seems so small, but it's just the other studios don't offer them water. We offer water. Something that small makes a difference.
okay. Um, what do you find as well? I guess we're getting ready to start our second session, but while we waiting on people to come in, what do you find as uh something that helps you get clients to come back? How do you make the studio home for someone? What is some of your practices for that?
Like I said, being personal. So all I can do is give examples. Yesterday we had an event. One of the artists that performed is in here collabing with one of our publishing clients. And we have the same name. So like in order for me, if I can't remember like characteristics about you, I had to remember small details. So he's a more laid back. I'm Devin. He's Devin. He's more laid back and I'm dancing Devin. So like for him to come in, I made him do a dance move. So get him out his comfort zone, but also made sure that this morning I text him to remind him like, hey, you saw the event space. Come get familiar with our studio spaces. You don't have to actually book a session because I would like for you to collab with a client who I already have booked. So him and Tev are in there collabing. And guess what? He wants to book again. So that would be a paid session. So that's just me being personal. Hey, I noticed you performed last night. Can I get your information? Can I follow up with you? Oh, we friends now. We got the same name. It's just me building a relationship. And Crystal does the same thing. Like she was out scouting. So like it's kind of like we tag team. I was doing studio work and she was scouting for music distribution. So Crystal is personal as well. And a lot of these people, they don't have their business side, like the admin work taken care of. And like the guy Crystal discovered last night, he's from New York. He has everything but a team. He has the sound. He has everything but a team. And like that's
And
something so small. He puts his music out with TuneCore, and just to come here and have somebody physically talking to you and just giving you feedback, like, let me listen to your tracks. Oh, that sounds good. Maybe if you do this or da da da, or try this sound, just that makes a difference. Where he called up people, like he had an event, he like, let me call my homies. Y'all pull up. This is a great place.
how how easy or how hard is it dealing with an artist without a team? Is that something that you could speak more to?
I wouldn't say it's hard. The hard part is making sure that you don't overwork yourself because you want to support them. So don't take on too much. Don't promise like label services when don't say, hey, I can't help you with that. Tell the client, hey, this is what I can do for you without overselling it.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Okay. What is something that you look, okay, at one point, and you're still the future, but at one point you were the future for your career path. You still are. But what do you look for in the future when you're looking, to develop someone else? What are some key characteristics that you're looking for someone that can grow into your role?
I'm looking for someone who is willing to take a back seat for a second and put on a student hat. A lot of people, for instance, I didn't graduate college. My background isn't music. However, I was able to realize okay, this is my calling. Let me take the time to do the research. Let me reach out to other people in the city, other music execs, so I can do my role and do my job to the best I can. If I am trying to delegate tasks and train someone to do my role, which I have tried, and a lot of people are standoffish. A lot of people are not willing to be led. And it's just a small period of time that, hey, I have to guide you so you can wear my hat and shoes. A lot of people are know-it-alls, and that's where it's difficult to baby, I want to see you win. I want you to take my job so I can be in another position. But that's difficult. I think it's easier in Memphis. I mean, finding good help anywhere is a task, but in Atlanta, it's a lot of know-it-alls, and we all can learn from each other.